guys. Welcome back to She Means Well.
Episode 9, baby. Right?
Yeah, dang. Next week will be 10.
10.
That's a milestone, Bale.
2 hands.
2 hands. I'm so glad I'm calling you Bailey and not Baylor this time.
I would want to call you last time. Aberdonk.
Bailey and I had so much fun filming that last episode, but editing it and like watching it back, we're like, oh my gosh.
I think we let some walls down and we really let our true personalities shine.
Every wall is demolished. Seriously. I just feel like I'm not holding anything back.
Every wall's demolished.
I mean,
wrecking ball.
People listening are probably like, I didn't think you were before. I have been pretty raw in here, but I don't know. That really did it for me last episode.
It's so fun.
It's
just fun to be silly.
Yeah. And spooky, though. Spooky.
Spooky yuki. Did you have a fun Halloween?
I did. Yeah. It was adventurous. I dressed up as Cruella de Vil, which was so random for me. But that was fun. What about you?
Well, my Padme costume really pulled together.
You did put it together. Nice work.
I actually am super happy that I got use out of this bodysuit that I have that I've annihilated at work with color, which all my clothes are stained.
Yep.
And I got to chop one sleeve off that was totally stained in color and make it look cute.
I didn't know that. You go, girl.
Made it work for me.
Yeah, you did.
Okay, I need to pull up my notes because I'm really excited for this episode.
I know, me too.
We have a lot of things we just want to chat about.
Chat about?
Yeah, discuss, if you will. Okay, so jumping into something fresh this week. And by fresh, I mean toilet paper.
Give it to us.
Our Would You Rather this week. Oh,
raspy girl.
Wow.
That was cute.
Thanks. I wish it
You ever do that and you like don't cough?
Yeah, you're like, anyway.
Or you're like, I'm really coming down with something.
I love when my voice goes away like that.
I know, me too.
I'm like, really trying to make it go. Okay, but our Would You Rather this week is, would you rather, more like, what do you do? Put your toilet paper coming over waterfall style or under pulling from the back?
Psychopath style. The
Like,
way that you put your toilet paper on the holder.
Right. There's a couple people at work, I think it's one, Sheena, who puts it on under style. And I'm just like, I don't think I can trust you.
Or is it the people
I love you, Sheena, and sorry if it's not you.
I know, I can't trust those people either. But I was thinking about it. Do people that put it under, is it intentional or is it they just don't give a rip?
It's always a choice. Everybody has a moment. When you put that toilet paper holder through the thing, you have a moment.
Right. Or is it just laziness? I don't know. It's psycho to me.
I guess some people probably don't care, but it's one of those things that I just can't let it go. It's like a OCD. I can't. So I will be casting my vote. My toilet paper is coming over the top.
On my little beach retreat, this question was asked and somebody made a really good point. They said like, oh, if you have a puppy or a cat and you put it that way, they can't, I guess, undo it.
Oh, it's probably less likely because if you tear it clean.
Which that makes sense. But even if I had a puppy or a kitty, which we do, I wouldn't do that.
No, Soldier will he's never unraveled it. He'll like bat at it maybe, but.
That's Bailey's cat, by the way.
Yeah, little Solgy Dolgy. Yeah, that's it's going to be pretty black and white for me on that one.
Yeah. Set in stone. You put it over. Waterfall style.
Okay, something else spooky that I need you to share. We had a late submission.
My goodness. This story is crazy. You guys hold on to your coattails. This one had me going for a spin. I don't know. This took a wild turn.
I was reading it out loud and just Bailey.
Yeah.
Bailey.
Yeah. It's pretty long. Bear with me, but it's so worth it. I have to share. Here we go. Okay. I have a longtime friend turned roommate. We had so much fun together, hung out all of the time with our friends/boyfriends. One time she wanted to go out. She invited her cousin. He was 19, super immature, and honestly cringy and pervy. I was 21 at the time, and I have never been so repulsed by a human in my life. The first time we hung out in a group setting, I quickly learned I couldn't leave my drinks unattended because he would just start chugging it without asking.
Ugh.
Yeah. Then didn't even offer to pay for them. After that whole group decided to buy some drinks and go to Browns Point to hang some more. I was just chilling, watching the stars and talking to the people when he randomly starts spooning me. I look over to my friend wide-eyed and confused on what the hell is happening. She belted out laughing and said out loud, "What the hell is happening?" We simultaneously...
Ew. Can we just take a moment?
Sick. Ew. I feel like I can see this clearly. She painted the picture really well.
Ew. Like,
yeah. Okay, resume. I look over to, oh, sorry. We both answered at the same time, him getting cozy with me. And I said out loud, "I don't know, I'm scared." He told me, "Oh, come on, you know you like it." I saw the looks you were giving me at the bar. What looks, sir? Maybe stop chugging my drink? I told him, "You're confused. You drank all my drinks and I do not see you that way." Fast forward a few weeks, my roommate and I invited people over to hang out. He was there, sadly, again, acting all cringy and gross. Everyone left and he was still there and kept on drinking. My roommate asked if he wants to stay on the couch because he shouldn't have been driving. Honestly, like, good looks for her, even though he's gross and cringy. I feel like in that situation, maybe I would have been like, "You need to find a ride home."
Got you an Uber, bye.
But I think that's, that's taken being the bigger person, being like, you shouldn't drive, at least just like stay on the couch.
No one should drive after they've been drinking. But like, if I didn't have a lock on my door.
Right. My roommate asked if he wanted to stay on the couch because he shouldn't drive. He started yelling at us and he said he will only stay if he could sleep in my bed. I said, "Absolutely not. The couch is perfectly fine." We argued back and forth for a few minutes when all of a sudden, here we go, people. When all of a sudden this man pulls out a gun and points it at my face. I don't remember what he started yelling at me after that.
I'm literally shaking. Like,
yeah. I just blankly looked at him and said, "If you have the balls to point a gun at me, then don't be and not shoot me." To be honest, I don't know what got into me. I'm just as shocked as you are that I said that. I then grabbed the barrel of the handgun and twisted it away and out of his hands.
Like, this man could have been, clearly he's unhinged, loose cannon.
Yeah.
And all it takes is a,
and this, yeah.
And he's obviously drunk.
Took it, pointed it at him and said, "You don't bring a gun into my house, and especially to a friendly gathering, and not asking me first. This is my house. I set the rules and you can get the F out." To this day, I don't know why I didn't call the police. I should have.
The woman was too stunned to speak. That's literally how I feel. That is insanity. Literally.
She said, after I responded to her, she said, "For real, I feel like the Holy Spirit just like came over me. God flipped a switch inside of me."
Literally,
she's like, "I don't know where that confidence came
boldness.
from." She went full on Texas Ranger on him.
And that's honestly, it had to have been like courage from the Lord, because that situation could have gone. Boldness can like make someone like set off.
Yeah.
That literally makes me feel like
I know.
My hands are sweating.
I was just going to say that. And I don't feel like you know how you're going to react in that situation until you're in a situation like that.
You know, the whole fight or flight kind of thing. Mm-hmm. And then they added freeze. I feel like I'm a freezer.
I feel like me too, maybe.
For a sec, and then like I need to evaluate.
I feel like I've never been in a circumstance nearly as that, but when I have been in scary situations, I feel like I'm pretty good at like being calm, remaining calm and assessing what's going on. So maybe I don't freeze, but
scary. Terrifying.
Girl, I'm so glad you're safe, and that man definitely needs some help. I really hope that nobody else, is in his path that he can.
No kidding. Hurt. Thank you for sharing that and taking the time to rattle that. That is so
wild.
That's great.
Thank you for reminding me to share that. I was so excited when she wrote that in. I was like, oh my gosh, I have to share this.
My hands are sweating. I cannot imagine. She could have died. They could have died.
Side note, sorry, this is random, but this maple oat milk creamer from Trader Joe's, it's my first time having it. Bailey gave it to me this morning. It's so good.
It's really good, huh?
I love oat milk. It's so creamy for being a substitute for milk.
I know, but it's really not the best alternative because of the gums and stuff, unless you make it yourself.
There are some that don't have the, what is it, xanthan gum?
Yeah, and like sunflower seed oil, rapeseed oil. Yeah. It ain't. I feel like I say that a lot when we're recording. It ain't great.
Oh my gosh, you know what I say a lot? Will you? Or
would you? Will if you will?
If you will.
We said that so many times. Like that did catch my attention. I'm like, okay, they will.
I know.
If you will.
I said if you will in the same sentence like 3 times. On the subject of alternative milk, I want to just touch on
milk.
Some skin stuff going on lately. Oof. My skin is so unhappy this time of year, and this year especially. I feel like, so I've had eczema my whole entire life, and naturally it's like drier, colder outside here in Washington, so it tends to flare up, but like it's angry. My neck, you guys, hence the turtleneck, you can kind of see it.
Skin,
it literally looks like I was strangled. Perfect. Spooky season.
Oh my gosh. And it's so annoying because you want to wear what you want to wear.
Yeah.
And you can, obviously.
Totally.
But it's like, you don't want to walk around looking like.
I know. I used to be really insecure as when I was like in high school and I had it really bad. Like I remember it was like spring and it was warm and I literally wore a scarf. Oh. And the scarf was like itchy and making my neck all hot.
And sweaty, probably.
Yeah.
Skin stuff is so, it's so hard because it really like, it's a shot to the ego, I feel like. And it's like, you don't want to give vanity and being vain. It's like, okay, because it's the saying is true that like when you look at someone else and you remember a time or a conversation, never in my mind am I like, wow, their skin was really bad that day.
Right.
Ever. Not once.
Yeah. Never.
So I know no one's remembering my bad skin.
No, it's a total self thing. I took birth control for so long and I haven't taken it now probably for like close to a year. And I feel like now I'm just getting all of like the normal girl, like hormonal things going on. I'm on a hair journey right now. Bailey did my hair this last time and she was a little concerned. It's like breaking. I'm 24 years old. I should not be having hair break like this.
Well, that ain't hormonal, sister.
I thought you said where it was breaking was hormonal.
No, you have new growth that looks hormonal.
Uh-huh.
But that doesn't mean breaking.
I know the heat too.
It's lightener, heat.
Yeah.
It's just a package deal.
Right.
It's like, yeah.
But ever since you started working at least at Drake Nelson, I feel like I use good products like heat protectant and stuff, but I do my hair way too often. I like doing my hair, styling it. Yeah. So I'm on a hair journey. I'm on a skin journey. I want to get allergy tested again.
Yeah. That's probably a good idea.
Yeah. I had so many allergies growing up, like all of the foundational in food.
You used to be, because Hannah, your sister, is like deathly allergic to peanut butter. And I always thought you were too. And then one time Abby was like, you want to see something? Just pops a Reese's. And I remember being like, dude,
this is so rude. I would slap my kid if this was my kid, but my mom and I were in an argument and I was mad at her and I went, fine. I took out the peanut butter ice cream from the freezer and went,
toxic.
She's like, you can drive yourself to the hospital. Love you, Mom.
Oh no.
And it was fine.
That's how you found out?
Yeah. Maybe I was fluffy as a kid, so maybe she was trying to help me not eat like more.
Don't even get me going. I have some childhood photos and I'm like, talk about spooky.
Oh my gosh, your soccer picture.
It lives on forever. And it's a picture of me literally running. I have space buns. I thought it was so cute because I did my own hair. My jersey is like so tight. You just see my belly button hole. And yeah, there's a running joke that it looks like I should be like running with a loaf of bread under my arm, which is so rude for whoever said that, but that's okay.
I recently changed that joke and said Bailey running after sourdough because she's a sourdough queen.
Oh, I've been going off with my sourdough, but yeah, and then I had a growth spurt and it helped me. But
Yeah.
I look back at photos and I'm like, Mom, I'm glad you weren't like full almond momming, body shaming me. But would it have killed you to give me a carrot?
Right.
Like, teach me some healthy. I will say though, I'm thankful that I experienced, and it's just like your body changes through puberty and all of that. But I had a soccer coach that said some things that really impacted me. And one
But
time
did
was
it
like,
hurt your feelings at the time?
oh yeah, he told me I was fast for a big girl.
Dude.
And
Was this a woman?
a man. And after that soccer practice,
That's so rude. How old were you?
Elementary school, probably like 3rd, 4th grade.
Oh my gosh.
Yep. And then my mom and I, after that practice, I was really down, which I feel like that was the first, if we're talking about therapy and timeline, that was the first thing that like made me aware of my body.
I have a story like that too.
And my mom and I, we sat in front of the pet store, I remember. And my mom said, honey, we're going to call this the soccer talk.
Oh.
Yeah. And she was like, we talked about body image and how we feel and what, all of that stuff. And she said, when you're having a hard time, I just want you to tell me, Mom, soccer talk. Like, I need help, soccer talk. And like, we always would reference that.
Oh, that's cute.
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah, terrible. But I'm glad that like I remember when one of my closest friends had her first kid and she was like, my baby is literally in a bassinet, too young to even know. But as I talk to myself in the mirror postpartum and I'm so hard on myself, she's like, I want to like train my tongue before she's really going to be taking it in, because that is really impactful how you see your mom talk about herself.
Oh, totally. Whenever my niece or Philson, your nieces are around, I really do try and like hold my tongue or bite my tongue. Like my niece, when she was here last, she's now 12 years old. No.
Yeah.
Yeah. Wow. Horrible aunt.
It seems like too old though.
I know. She's 12 years old now. And I made a comment about like my stomach or something. And I saw her like pulling her shirt down. Like, I don't know. Just she heard what I said and she soaked it in. I'm like, okay, I need to be careful. When I was in elementary school, a boy that I had a crush on, I think I was like in 4th grade, he made a comment about my stomach. I don't remember what he said, but I remember I started like sucking in all of the time after that.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
Like it's there, I feel like a lot of times is a defining moment where it's like you become aware of how you show up physically and what other people think of you. And then you're like, I didn't like how that felt, so I need to change it. And it's like you start like living for other people. And it's so sad because the innocence is so precious. Like I think of my niece, Wilson, and I'm like, she has the cutest birthmark on her face. And I'm like, I want to like be an NFL blocker. And I'm like, if any kid ever says anything, and we were at the playground once and I heard a kid go, oh, I think you have like Kool-Aid or something on your cheek. And she goes, oh no. And my sister just instilled confidence about it. Like, you're so special. You're the only one with that. Like, God gave you that.
Yeah.
And she's like, oh no, it's my birthmark and it's beautiful. And she just smiled at them and she just went on playing. But it's like,
that's awesome.
A couple years from now, I feel like you don't have the ignorance is bliss thing. And you just start to, especially girls, like it's so, it's crazy how impressionable young women are. I feel like it's a bit different for boys. They're like, you said I look that way, like whatever. Like it rolls off differently.
Yeah. I mean,
appearance wise,
through anyway. Puberty, you're younger as a girl when you start going through it, and it's a really awkward time. And it's around the same time where like you start liking boys. Yeah. And so it's just like,
why'd I gotta be like that?
Yeah. It sucks.
Ugly and awkward. And then, you start liking boys and they don't really like you yet.
Yeah. I remember I was in, I think 7th grade, and I was wearing yoga pants, and this boy came up and like slapped my butt, and then his buddy gave him like $5 or something.
Like dared
him.
And
I remember like crying in my classroom.
Sexual assault.
Like, I know, crying in my classroom, and for some reason I felt like I couldn't say like
what happened.
Yeah. I wonder why. But I'll always remember that. And I think I just played it off cool, like.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah. Thank you.
Yeah. Okay. I want to reminisce with you.
Okay.
You remember that show, 1,000 Ways to Die?
Yes.
It popped in my head the other day and I was like, Abby had some of those memories, those episodes on lock.
Mm-hmm.
And what a crazy show. It's so random. But
how was that ever like aired? Like it was pretty dirty too.
Yeah, and it was just
Gruesome.
like, it seemed like really cheaply made, cheap actors.
But it was hot when I was in middle school.
Yeah.
I think.
And
or maybe elementary.
It would be like running all Saturday, I feel like. 1,000 Ways to Die marathon.
I wonder if they still do reruns. What are some that you remember?
The only one that really stands out in my mind is a girl died from shaving and she cut herself with a rusty razor blade.
Oh.
I feel like whatever ones you remember, if you are in that scenario, like I always look and if it's rusty, I'm like, if it's sat in like water, I'm like, nope.
Oh.
Which I wouldn't use a rusty razor anyway, but I think of that. She died.
Yuck.
And I wonder, like, are there fact checkers on that show?
Dude, side note. Okay, that just reminded me. I'll make this quick. But when I was in middle school, we had to run the mile. And I was that kid that literally tried pulling out all of the stops. But I was like fast too. When I actually tried, like I was good, but I just didn't want to. I hate running. I've always hated running. And I cut myself with my razor pretty bad. Like I still have a good size, like it was gross.
On your ankle?
I probably could have gotten stitches.
On your ankle?
Yes. But then I'm like, oh, this is perfect. Like I have a big bandage on my ankle. I can just like say I like fell out of the tub and sprained my ankle.
Your stories, they go
Bailey,
so
it gets
far.
worse. I wore crutches to school.
You steal them out of the garage or?
No, we had some. I think Mikey's were in our garage.
Was your mom like, what are you doing with those?
I think I just said like my ankle was sore or something.
She just let you.
Yeah. What
So
an
you didn't have to run
Enneagram 3, honestly.
So you didn't have to run the mile.
Like I cut myself. Oh, I'm limping. Like, so I didn't have to run the mile, but it bit me in the butt because they made me do the pacer like on my birthday, mind you.
Pacer was the worst. It's like, boop.
Yep. Boop, by myself. So they probably knew.
Oh no, not the crutches.
I know.
That just reminded me, my mom, I don't know if this is rude. It's not rude, but it's funny. But my mom was driving my Nana around and my Nana's like, oh yeah, use my handicap sticker. We can park closer. My mom's like, cool. And then she wasn't driving my Nana anymore, but still had the sticker. And my mom's like,
Auntie,
a couple of times I've parked, close. I've been running late. And she's like, but I got out of the car and then I like felt like I was walking too fast. So she started limping. As she always wears these like platform. Oh my gosh.
Everything.
Yeah. And she's just like limping and it's like,
oh my God.
Sorry, Mom. Let me know if you heard that story. I'll know if you've been listening.
So back to 1,000 Ways to Die, a couple that stand out in my mind. And I can't relate to these at all like you did with the razor, but I remember there was this couple in a hot tub, and this is one of those dirty, gross ones, but I always think about this when I'm not a big hot tub girly. Like it kind of grosses me out.
Don't say too much.
Okay.
I have to, when I'm in the hot tub, once I start thinking about germs and skin cells and stuff, it's time to go.
Ew. Yeah. Like it really started hitting for me when we would all hot tub at my ex's house, and there was like 8 of us in there. I'm like, oh my God, I do not trust your hygiene. I don't trust your hygiene. What do your feet smell like?
Bye.
So gross. Okay, resuming. Sorry, that was really gross. But there's this couple in a hot tub and they had the temperature up too high and it basically like boiled his Johns.
What?
Yeah. And he like died.
What a way to go out.
I don't really remember like the science behind it, but they like, they would try and go into the science of actually what happens in your body and stuff. It's probably all BS, but that one. And then I also remember there's this woman that got really big breast implants and she was on an airplane and one of them exploded. Could you imagine sitting next to her? Just boobage all over your face.
Do you think it was like so much pressure built up and then it was like a slow, like a balloon that has a hole and it was like, or it was like,
I remember it being like,
ow, I feel like I need to hold my boobs. Oh, yikes. Okay, but that just jogged something that I heard in the news. Was that your last one?
Yeah.
1,000 Ways?
Mm-hmm.
This last week, there was a pilot here in Washington in Everett.
Oh, yeah.
So he was a pilot, but he was not flying on this flight. And
I heard about this, but I don't really know the deal.
I don't know if he was, I think he was just catching a flight somewhere else and then went into the cockpit.
But he was flying?
He was on the plane, like catching a ride.
Okay.
But he went into the cockpit, or maybe he was like, I don't think he was on duty.
Or like a co-pilot, maybe?
Yeah. But I don't think he was on duty.
Okay.
And he went in to the cockpit and tried to like emergency shut off, like with the fire extinguisher, like shut off the engines like in an emergency way.
Oh. Just
went rogue. And apparently he's being charged with like 80
Is this a commercial?
Yeah.
Like airplane?
Alaska Airlines.
Oh.
He's being charged with 80 something accounts of attempted murder. And it came out that he 48 hours before took magic mushrooms.
Oh my gosh.
So maybe his brain chemistry was like not well. I mean, it's a big deal to be a pilot. That's so much responsibility. That's so much like.
And he wasn't even on duty. What the heck are you doing?
And all your career, just your life over.
In Washington, they are not easy in the court system. They will hammer you here.
Oh my gosh. 80 something accounts of murder, attempted murder. Like,
yikes. That is crazy.
I know. I need to look it up. I don't know if he was in the cockpit or busted in, and then I saw videos where he like walked to the back of the plane.
Oh, there's footage?
Yeah. And then the people on the plane were super confused because they didn't really understand what was going on. And then when they landed, they emergency landed in Everett.
Oh my gosh.
I'm pretty sure. Because if it took off in SeaTac, there's no reason why Alaska would land in Everett.
Yeah. It was after taking off, not landing.
Yeah. So then I think. Yeah. So then unless they were going from somewhere and then we're like, we got to land this now. But he was walking from the back of the plane out and they had handcuffed him, like air marshal or whatever. Yeah. So people were so confused because this guy just was walking out handcuffed. And they honestly were like, I heard a couple interviews and they were like, oh, I thought it was medical or something. But then he was handcuffed. So it was confusing. And then as the information started to come out, the people who were on the flight were like, we could have died today. Like it wasn't an escalated scene in the moment.
Right.
But then when they're interviewing it later.
Yeah.
Yeah. Isn't that crazy?
That is insane.
He tried to shut off the engines. Like, what are you doing, bro? Imagine being like the pilot actually flying the plane and you're like, oh, hey, man. Because he's a colleague. And you're like, hey, especially if he wasn't in the cockpit and he came in, you just like trust people to like, oh, yeah, have a seat or like hang out with us. And he just.
That's insane.
Like, what are you doing, dude?
He probably puts his toilet paper the wrong way.
Upside down. Probably eats his burrito sideways.
I learned about myself. I didn't know this until recently, but I eat any burger any burger upside down.
That is so funny.
And I did not know that until you pointed it out.
Explain how you pick it up because it makes sense why that happens.
So the burger, the fluffy part of the bun is up, sesame seeds, picture that. And then I go like this.
You like rotate your wrists after you've grabbed it.
I wonder why. Is it because I don't want the like lettuce, tomato, whatever? No, because I feel like it has a greater chance of falling out
But maybe you're onto something because when you eat a burger and you just pick it up like normal straight to your mouth, the bottom bun always seems to go quicker than the top.
Well, yeah, because it's thinner.
So if you flip it, there's more structure to work with, maybe.
I knew what I was doing.
Yeah, maybe it is intentional.
That is so weird. What a weirdo I am. Whatever.
Yeah, Sorry, I'm stuck on the Everett pilot. Like, that's so scary.
I know. And too, I know like in planes, a lot of pilots, I think they just put it in like autopilot.
Yeah, I'm pretty
Is that
sure
what it's called? I don't know.
pretty routine once you
Like you take off and then I think you just whatever it
lock
is.
in. But you obviously got to know if there's an emergency, like what you're doing.
But then, oh man, what a D-bag. I would.
Like, what are you doing?
Yeah. Yikes.
I wonder if there's laws against, like, you definitely can't drink. I think, is it within 24 hours of your shift or something like that? Like,
I don't know enough.
There's got to be laws like that. But like, I mean, clearly someone could do it.
Yeah. I mean, I
But
think about like
mushrooms?
pilots like flying all these cool places. I'm sure they're drinking at the cool place that they land.
Yeah.
That's a lot of responsibility. To fly
I wonder
a
when you
plane.
land, like say you took a flight, you were flying a plane to Hawaii. I wonder if there's rules like if you're not doing like a continual work day, picking people up and then turning around and heading back.
Right.
Like if you land, I wonder if you like have to stay there for, I don't know, maybe not.
I'm sure that there's certain like standard.
Like a trucker, you know, they can only log so many hours within a period of time.
Yeah, that would make sense. Huh. I don't know. Freaky. You ever like are flying and you're just like, I'm literally like a tube in the air right now.
Yeah, like you think of if you subtract the airplane and everyone's just,
oh my gosh, yes,
like floating
that's so
in the
funny.
sky.
Oh my goodness, you just remind me of SpongeBob.
Oh,
now I'm here
you're
talking about
bringing it up.
SpongeBob.
Okay, another thing I want to discuss. Sorry, I'm coming at you with all these things.
No,
I just
love it.
need to talk
I love
about.
that. You go, girl.
Okay, this week we've been talking about ADHD. Abby and I both have it, but I'm saying we both have it. I just caught a glimpse of myself. Okay, we both have it, but definitely different forms. We should.
Yeah.
Do you know what kind of ADHD you have?
I don't have ADHD. I just have ADD.
Oh,
and my understanding is that ADHD is you're more like hyperactive, and ADD is more like focus.
I heard that probably from TikTok or something that it's ADD is like ADHD is the umbrella. Doesn't matter, whatever. I have I have inattentive ADHD. And so I'm not hyperactive. Like sometimes I'll bounce my leg, but I'm not like zooming all over. Like I was never the rambunctious kid in class, but I was definitely the kid that was like when the teacher's like, all right, now get going. I'm like, what?
Oh, okay.
What day is it? What are we supposed to be doing?
Yeah.
Like, I feel like I'm having a conversation in my mind. I'm like, what did I eat for breakfast? And then I just exit the combo.
You know what you just got me thinking of is maybe I do have ADHD, like hyperactive, because me in that scenario, okay, go ahead, start working on your project. I'm like, okay, this and this and this and this and like all of these ideas, and I can't like focus on one. I'm multitasking so many things at a time, which I'm good at.
Me to my next
and that's why I'm so good at my job, because that's my job. Like I'm doing 5 or 6 tasks at a time, and I'm good at it, Bailey.
Right.
Why are you laughing?
Because when this popped in my head the other day, we were talking about ADHD, and Abby's like, I'm so good at
Here she goes, you guys, roasting me again.
I'm so good at multitasking. Around the topic of ADHD, she said, it makes me better. It makes me a great multitasker.
What did I say?
Having ADHD makes you a great multitasker.
No, I did not say having it makes me a great multitasker.
Okay, what did you say?
I said being that I have ADHD, like it makes me multitask and I'm good at it.
Okay.
I've gotten good at it.
Yoda says the same thing in a different way. Being that I have ADHD, she's like, let me run this through ChatGPT.
I do sometimes say things flip-flop. Like the other day at work, I was like, to someone, my coworker, I'm like, why did I just say that like Yoda?
Yeah, backwards. It's like you have the words and they're just like, got to get them out.
Sometimes it just sounds smarter, to be honest.
That old video that's like, there was a fire and the firemen went. Because there was a fire, firemen went. And it's like trying to witch a word count on an essay.
I feel like that's me.
But anyway, Abby does say she's a great multitasker. And I go,
thank you, I am.
I go, are you though? Because
What was I doing? Set the scene.
Well, I think you were editing.
I was editing. I was listening to music. I was watching Big Brother.
But in my opinion,
I had one headphone on like this, editing. I had a mirror set up right here so I could see the reflection of Big Brother. And then I had my speaker going with music.
But being so overstimulated like that, like this is where we're different too. My mom is like you, and she overstimulates herself with all the audio, visual, like you want
a couple projects going.
I keep burping. Sorry. You want to be like, I feel like it's like something in your brain. You want something to light up in your brain. Like we're talking about listening to music really loud. I don't realize, but I like crank or I just have the music really loud. And then Jordan be like, will you turn it down a couple notches? And when that happens, I feel like I'm like, oh, thank God someone turned it down. Like I don't realize I'm like overwhelmed.
Yeah.
But what I was dying laughing over is you're like, it makes me really good at multitasking or whatever Yoda way you want to say it. And I'm like, but does it? Because then you're like 25% attention here, 25% attention there. And it's like, but if you focus on one thing, then you're doing it fully, which don't get me wrong. I definitely walk into a room and I'm like, oh, I'll start doing the dishes. Oh, I was doing laundry. Like, I feel like my brain is trying to multitask, but do I really think I'm as successful as you know what I'm saying?
No, I totally get what you're saying. So you have a very valid point, but the reason like why I like went to the doctor and like started talking about, I think I have ADD, whatever. It runs very high in in our family, but it's because I would hyper focus. Like if I don't take my medication, I can do that. I will hyper focus on a project and do it so perfectly. And I take way too long.
Oh yeah.
And so, when I do take my medication, it helps me a lot, especially at work, because I do have so many tasks to do and I can do them at the same time. And then like overall, I feel like if I'm able to multitask efficiently, which I do feel like I do, I'm getting more stuff done in the long run.
Yeah.
Versus just like one project at a time. At least for me, because but
it was
just
cracking me up.
Like I dial in.
It was cracking me up as someone who lives with you, because you're like, I multitask really well. And in my mind, I'm thinking that's like checking stuff off a list. And I do the same thing.
What are you trying to say?
There's trails and I have trails too. Jordan calls them my piles and they just like float around. And in my mind, I'm like, I'm being so productive, checking things off the list. And then it's like, I turn around and I'm like making a tornado behind me. Actually, I did see something though. Kyle, shout out, sent me, my finger is very aggressive. Dude. Kyle sent me a reel on Instagram and it was idea for a hack. Oh my goodness. For someone with ADHD to get, those like collapsible bins or basket or whatever. And before you leave the room, say you're cleaning the kitchen, have a bin. And if anything goes outside of the kitchen, put it in the bin. And then when you're done cleaning the kitchen, take the bin and put the stuff away in the bin.
Oh, wow.
Because if there's like something down here that needs to go upstairs, I'll go upstairs. And then I'm like, oh, wow, I'm in here. Next thing I know, I'm cleaning the baseboards with the toothbrush. And I'm like,
oh my gosh.
I was cleaning the kitchen.
Yeah.
I didn't know.
That's a really good idea.
Yeah. Isn't that cool?
I might use that.
I didn't know I had ADHD until I was an adult, and it goes undiagnosed in women very commonly, much longer, because a lot of times in like school settings, teachers are the ones who are, you're in a learning setting and they bring it to the parents like, hey, I might think that this is what's going on. I was never like it's so much like happening behind my eyeballs. It's not like manifesting outwardly for me.
Yeah. I feel like that's me too.
I think that's common with women.
Yeah, I know. And my perception of ADD when I was younger, I was diagnosed, I think when I was like 16. So before that,
you were?
Mm-hmm. My mom has, or 16 or 17.
Oh.
My mom has ADD. My aunt has ADD, and their ADD looks a whole lot different than what I have. So in my head, I'm like, there's no way I have that.
Right.
So then when I like tested or whatever, and they said, yeah, I was like, you sure?
I just like met with a specialist and she was like, so you did score high on our test. But I remember asking my dad once, I was like, Dad, do you think I have ADHD? Because my mom definitely does. My brother will say it till he's blue in the face that he doesn't think he does, but he does. He's a lot like you. And I think it's like, it's a superpower. Like it makes him really good at like focusing on work and like honing in on that.
Yeah.
But I remember asking my dad, do you think I have ADHD like mom? And he was like, because it's different than my mom's. He's like, I feel like I can tell you were raised by someone with ADHD. And I remember just being like, huh? Like, what? I asked Mike once, my sister, I was like, do you ever like, while you're talking to somebody, feel like you're having 100 conversations in your head and you're just like literally not taking in what they're saying? And then they ask you whatever. And she's like, maybe after I've been drinking. And I was like, whoa.
That is the worst part for me. I hate that. It is so rude. The worst thing is like when you're talking to someone and then they ask you a question and you're like, oh yeah. Hello? It's like, no, I asked you. That's so rude. And that happens to me.
It's embarrassing. That happened to me at work yesterday. A client was telling me she really likes Trader Joe's sunscreen. It doesn't leave a white cast, blah, 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 blah. And I go, oh, is it really good at taking your makeup off? She's like, I've never tried that. And I was like, wait, I'm sorry. Huh?
It's because something she said earlier in that conversation triggered your mind. And now you're thinking about that thing.
And you just get so stuck on it. Yeah. And it's like, I can see it in other people. And I know I do this too, where it's just like, I am not there anymore.
Yeah. I've gotten to the point where I'm like, I think they can see that in my face.
Then you start having that conversation in your head. Like they know I'm not paying attention.
And God knows what they're saying now.
I know. And they're like, and they have lettuce in their teeth. Oh, I had a salad last night. That was good. Like, it's just so like squirrel.
Yeah. I don't like that. That part's a big struggle. Do you feel like in your relationship, it brings some struggles?
Oh, 1,000,000%. I've been on and off medication, and Jordan and I both can agree when I'm on medication, it's just like a nice smooth coast. And when I'm not currently, it just, I don't know. I'm just, it's.
Come on.
I don't even know what I'm trying to say. I think I try to do the multitasking thing. Like, I feel like medication for me helps me focus and finish and be like, okay, I'm done with that. And yes, but when I'm not on medication, I'm a bat out of hell. I'm just bouncing off the walls.
Okay, Gaga.
Mentally.
Bat out of hell.
Yeah. The rudest thing that I think ADHD does for me is...
Okay, you're pointing your finger at me. I'm like,
is interrupt. Yeah. Like, I so
do that bad.
Rude.
On medication, off medication, that is a downfall I have.
I love hanging out with Alex because we both are like, I feel like we're ping pong balls and no one gets their feelings hurt because it's like, oh my gosh, today at work. And then she'll interrupt my story. And then 5 hours later, I'm like, okay, I forgot to finish. So, and then I'll go back. And it's so nice to not be like watching someone be like, huh?
Oh my gosh. You know? Yeah. Or it's so embarrassing. Ugh. Like this happened to me recently, but at work I was, I kept doing that to my coworker, and every time I interjected, I was like trying to finish their sentence and I was getting it wrong.
Ew, I hate that. And they're like, not really, but, and I'm like,
just shut up, Abby.
Shut up.
Let them talk.
Sometimes I'll literally bite my tongue. I'm like, lost my train of thought.
Oh, you know what that means?
Choo choo. Lost my train.
It's okay. That happens.
Wait, no, I was going to say something. ADHD. This is tragic. Oh my gosh.
This is perfect. Do you plan that?
No. ADHD. I don't think it's coming back. Oh, yeah.
There she is.
A couple of things, not being on medication currently. I've hit the streets of TikTok for some education. And there's a couple of things that I've learned that have changed my life on or off medication. And it's when you have something to do at home, lace up, put on shoes, because it tells your brain you're not done working. Because something that I do, yes, my mom,
I don't like that.
My mom used to always put on shoes to clean. I'm like, what are you doing?
Yeah, she does do that.
Yeah. And she's like, I just feel like I need to do something. she was onto something because if you put on shoes, sometimes I wear my slippers because it tells your brain.
Yeah, I was gonna say not your dirty like outside shoes,
but it tells your brain you're not done working. And I think it actually helps, honestly, to be something a little tighter on my foot because it tells me.
That makes sense,
because
Bailey.
it's the sitting down, scrolling, the sitting down. I'm just gonna look up this recipe, and next thing I know, I'm looking at like a pink elephant.
Yeah,
like
this is so weird, but you know your brown fuzzy slippers that you have.
Yeah,
and then I have my
yes,
my slides. If I wear the hard,
yes, they have a sole
bottom.
Yes,
I do feel. That's a really cool thought.
Yeah, so that's one thing that I definitely do if I need to be like, nope.
But if you're gonna do that, don't be wearing your gross like outside shoes inside. That's
sometimes I get home from work. I've done this like maybe 2 or 3 times this week. I think when I've been wearing these Converse and I'll start cooking dinner and I haven't taken my shoes off and I'm like, let me just finish what I'm doing, which is kind of weird because I'm like, okay, you need to relax. But I feel like it feels like I need to keep moving.
Yeah, I can't do that. I think just like working in the medical field has done some numbers on me when it comes to like germy stuff.
Probably because we don't have any carpet downstairs. It doesn't really register to me. It feels like just the hardwood, you know? And the other thing that has changed my life, and I say it to myself 15,000 times a day, don't put it down, put it away.
That one's good.
It's so good. I'll be like, you know, with my, okay, I'm going to bring my coffee downstairs and I'm going to go to the bathroom and I set my coffee down and then I'll leave the bathroom.
Ugh.
And it's like an empty coffee cup and it's like, nope, don't put it down, put it away, go downstairs and do that. So I love that tool.
Yeah, I need to be better about that. I don't know, man. I've just been so tired lately. To be honest, this last week, I've not been getting good sleep. And my room is atrocious right now.
I'm sorry. I went in on you the other day. I was like, Abby.
You went in on me a couple times, Bailey.
I know. I thought we were going to get into it, honestly, on this episode.
We can.
You want to tussle?
I do. Because you know what? Your room's not always clean. Okay? Your room is not always spotless. A lot of the time it's not.
What? Most of the time it is. Every night I do a cleanup little. Yes, I always put my clothes away after I've worn them in the dirty clothes.
I'm not saying you're a dirty girl, but I'm just saying like.
I'm defensive because I've put in work to be better.
You came at my neck.
Well, because I went in
front
your
of
room.
People.
Aaron on FaceTime. Woo.
Whatever, Bailey. Just know I would never do that to you.
Gaslighter.
I'm just kidding.
I say it because I'm trying to share what I've learned. Because I'm like,
you're acting like I don't know how to.
I'm melting into the couch.
You do every single time, Bailey. See, I was fine with you saying like, Abby, your room. It was when you started trying to give me tips on how to clean my room. Excuse me, miss.
I'm just trying to.
I'm a very clean person for the most part. I'm very clean except for like my room when it comes to putting clothes away.
No, and you're not dirty.
No, I'm clean.
I've really, really, really stand by the statement. I'm not dirty. I'm messy. And I will say I am messy. Don't look at my car.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Like, I'm messy.
I feel like for a girl, my car does somewhat stay a little bit clean.
Yeah.
Sorry about that.
I have, right now, it's actually not bad. I just have a couple coffee cups, but
yeah.
And
Jordan, he's really clean too. He's a good roommate. You guys are both good roommates.
Oh, thank you.
I feel like we all pull our own. What is that term?
Wait.
You're good at the. Yeah.
Well, you're good at those. I'll never forget when you didn't know pot calling the kettle black. And I was like, you know, and you tried to explain it.
But I was like, huh?
Yeah.
What does it actually mean?
When you try to explain it, and I'm like, it's just the same.
Yeah. Huh. Well, that was fun.
Yeah. I really did.
Or not.
Okay, see, like that's an ADHD thing. I'm trying to respond, but I was literally thinking like, there was a couple things last night that I was like, oh, I can't wait to podcast tomorrow with her.
I do that all the time throughout the week. I need to be better about writing things down. Oh, last night when we were in the Uber.
Oh.
What was that?
Okay, so last night we went out and for Halloween and I was wearing tights with a boot type shoe.
Oh,
And
do
I
you want me
kept-
to take over, you poor thing?
I kept
This is
complaining
embarrassing.
about how my foot was like sliding all around these shoes and these tights. And then
Us girls were like, what?
And then in the Uber, I was like, I'm not wearing socks. And then we started talking about like, if you're wearing tights with a boot or tights with a whatever, like, do you always wear socks when you wear tights? And I'm like, there's definitely occasions where like you're wearing more of a.
And what are those, Bailey?
I don't know. I can't think right now, but like, I know there's occasions where I will wear tights and I don't put a sock on. Like, I'm trying to think what type of shoe, but then I'm like, but if it's open toe, why would I be wearing tights?
Yeah. I can't think of, the only thing that I can think of is when I was like a little girl and you know, those like ballet slides.
I was just going to say, and there's like a thing.
But how often you wear those, honey?
I know.
That was crazy.
Maybe I don't wear socks. I don't know. But then I think, no, I do wear socks with tights.
Are like, well, not last night. You didn't.
I know. But we were rushing out of the house and I did like put them on.
Were.
But like.
What's new?
Yeah.
Better late than ugly.
That's right. Heard it here first.
All right, you guys. Well, thank you for tuning in for this episode.
This little chit chat.
Big chit chat. We talked about a lot of
All sorts of things.
A lot of different things today. As always, you can expect another episode next Wednesday because it is
She Means Well Wednesday. And go ahead and if you want to stay in the know or you want to participate in some of these controversial topics that pop up in our heads, follow our, oh my gosh, I was like, what is that social Instagram at She Means Well Podcast, as well as TikTok. Is that all we use?
Instagram, TikTok, yeah.
Yeah, follow those. Oh, YouTube.
Oh, okay, last thing, and then we'll stop buzzing in your ear. You guys, there is a new app called Laps.
Oh, yeah.
Bailey and I are obsessed.
So
it's
fun.
A disposable camera.
It's like a filmy vibe.
It's like Instagram, Snapchat, and Tinder had a baby.
Right.
And it's super fun. It's like you have a feed. You can like see other people that you don't follow if you want, like on the For You page or whatever. And then you have your friends and you can, it's super cool.
But it seems really casual. Like you can post stuff that you wouldn't necessarily post to Instagram.
It is super casual.
It's supposed to be like in the moment and it's fun.
Kind of messy.
Because you take the photo, but it develops like at a random time later.
Yeah.
You get a notification. Oh, you're.
Some faster than others, some longer. It's super fun. I'll still keep buying disposable cameras and spend my money on those, but I really like that app. You guys should get it. We're going to create a She Means Well account. We haven't yet, but.
Oh, that's going to be so much fun.
Yeah, I'm excited for that. I mean, Bailey and I are always taking photos and we need to be better about like actually posting our photos and videos that we take. Cause oh gosh, I have so much.
I'll be honest. What really catches me up is I use my personal Instagram for work too. And I'm like, I haven't posted about work in a long time. And then I'm like, I should post about work next, not another personal thing. And then I really don't post that much because then I'm like,
tricky.
Yeah.
Yeah, a lot of hairstylists will have separate. But when I talk to you about this, you're like, but I kind of want like my clients
it's intentional,
to like, know who I am.
Because I think of me, if I was a client, I wouldn't follow a bunch of accounts that are just hair, which a lot of people do for like to bring inspo to their hairstylist. But I would get excited to like follow someone and be like, oh, that's cool. She likes to cook. She likes to thrift. She whatever. And then you're just like, you know, like they can see you.
And when you go and get your hair done, like me going to someone new, I'm like, okay, who is this?
Right.
Like it would be nice that like see a sneak peek of like who they are and what they're about.
Yeah.
Anyway, there we go again, down a rabbit hole. Look at us go.
I love you guys. I mean it. I love you.
I mean it. We love you, you guys. And we always will mean well for you. Absolutely.
Anyway.
All right. Until next time, you guys.
Bye.
Bye. See ya.